My name is Canan Sahin. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Political Studies. I come from Turkey. I did my master's and undergrad back in Turkey. I've been here for 2.5 years now. After I finished my master's in Turkey, I started working as an instructor, and I started pursue a PhD degree, but it was late, so I took a long break, and I came to Queens as a mature student. So the age difference between me and my colleagues, in the PhD cohort that I was in, more than 10 years. So I guess our identity is always dependent upon how we are perceived by others, right? So there is kind of a thing, whenever you speak, whenever you say something, your age brings you kind of an authoritative, like experiential baggage, but at the same time, you don't want to sound like a woman, like who kind of has lived 40 years in this world and, like teaching others. So maturity comes with contradictions. That's an issue. I didn't want to constrain myself based on that, but also I became very self-conscious and self-aware, in the social context and academic context I was part of. It's definitely a challenge for women, particularly who are single, who just come to a place completely new. This peer support is not very easy to form because the age difference also make things difficult for you, right? Hanging out, socializing, partying, being close friends. So that's something. Benri Center is here. I went there, but also you don't want to be confined exclusively in mature. Places where you find your people with your own age, right? So it is difficult, right. I guess. Right. But it has own beauties, but it is difficult at the same time. After 2 years of experience, I can say, Queens is a predominantly white university. Most of the undergrads are middle or upper class. International students mostly come from particular parts of the world with probably affluent backgrounds. Diversity is relatively better at grad level, and I am part of that. So whatever you want to do should take these things as given, like in advance. So all my kind of sense of belonging, let's say identity, they all developed around this awareness. It doesn't make me necessarily pessimistic, but it makes me realistic, I guess, in terms of what can be done here. And also I explored the community. Unlike, big cities, we do not have a very vibrant, maybe community activism here, but still there is I think significant community connections, nodes here, which I can feel belong to. Okay. So I try to connect this campus-related and off-campus activity to each other, right. And I want to create a space for myself in that. See, because I was very active in the union back in Turkey, and union space for me is a place where you can talk about work-related problems of equity, inequity, problems of discrimination, but problems about the international experience that you bring in maybe social political sense, right? So we've started the Social Justice Committee in the union, we started a Climate Action Committee. So we try to attend the events in the community, from PSAC 901. So I think it made my life here more meaningful, let's say, because you need meaning to feel motivated. When you connect it with other trade unions, you can see activists, unionists from different age groups. I guess I felt very home, like in that space. Okay. Motivation doesn't only come from your scholarly achievements, right? You can write good articles but still feel depressed. So, so I guess mental health is related not only with academia, it is also related with your other activities, engagements. Mental health doesn't only get healed or get better when you talk to counselors. You need other supportive mechanisms, I guess. And I don't think Queens is doing awesome in that sense, because think about international student support network here. We have an international center, but doing what? Let's bring people from different cultures, organize movie nights, eat different kinds of food. That's why you become kind of a color in the plate. right, in the scale. And that's not what I want to do. I have an identity, but I have very universalistic ideas about human welfare and non-human welfare, right? So it's not, I don't want to be confined into that kind of a color in the scale, like someone from the Middle East who can, I don't know, cook something well, sing that song well, and can display a movie. No, I'm more than that. If you find meaning in a particular location, you start making long-term plans. You want to settle, right? You might consider getting PR. You might consider being a citizen in the end. Work here, be part of the community. For me, there is always a kind of indecisiveness in that front. Am I going to be here or should I move elsewhere? And that sense of, let's say, temporariness, like you don't want to settle in, it also affects your engagement, your commitment into things. If I didn't have that many questions in my mind, I would say, yeah, I want to be part of Queen's community. I want to settle here. I want to have long-term projects, bigger commitments. Now I always think, maybe 2 years later I might not be here, right? So that's always this. So for me, what is ahead? Probably not Queens and Kingston. I don't know, of course. I mean, these are this is early to talk about it, but I don't have that kind of a long-term projection. I might go back to Turkey, try, like maybe getting jobs in other places, not just in Canada even. Very open.